The call came while I was watching her smile at a camera. Perfect lighting. Perfect angle. Perfect lie. My wife leaned against the marble kitchen island, filming another authentic morning routine for her millions of followers. "Good morning, beautiful people," she said sweetly. "Today I'm sharing how gratitude changes your life." My phone vibrated. "Unknown number," I answered. Silence at first. Then a voice, low and gravelly. "You still miss your daughter?" My throat tightened. 18 years and that wound still had teeth. "Yes," I said carefully. A soft chuckle slid through the line. "You should check your wife's business accounts." The call ended. Just like that. Behind me, my wife laughed into the camera. The sound made my skin crawl. 18 years ago, our newborn vanished from a hospital nursery. No witnesses. No ransom. No body. The police called it a mystery. My wife called it fate. I called it unfinished. I stood there, phone still warm in my hand, watching the woman who had cried on television, built an empire on motherhood advice, and told millions of people how she survived losing a child. Her followers adored her. They called her brave, strong, inspiring. But something in that call twisted inside my chest like a blade slowly turning. "Check the accounts." So I did, and within 20 minutes, I stopped breathing. At first, it looked like nothing. Small transfers, consulting payments, brand partnerships routed through shell companies. Influencers do that all the time, but patterns don't lie. Every 2 weeks, the same offshore account, the same beneficiary, the same name. Victor Salgado. My hands froze above the keyboard. That name wasn't random. Victor Salgado was the man arrested 18 years ago outside the hospital parking lot. He had been questioned, released, and quietly disappeared. The police had never proved anything, but I had never forgotten his face. I sat there in the dim office while sunlight spilled across my desk. Numbers don't have emotions. They only have truth. Over the last 5 years, my wife had transferred more than $4 million to him. Not once, not twice. A system, carefully hidden, carefully structured. Money laundering. My chest felt hollow. Behind me, her laughter echoed from the living room. She was filming again, talking about motherhood, talking about healing, talking about strength. I closed the laptop slowly. The silence inside my head was louder than any scream. 18 years. She had cried in my arms for 18 years. And now a voice whispered a question I had never allowed myself to think. What if she wasn't a victim? I didn't confront her. People destroy themselves when they believe they're safe. So I let her believe it. I smiled. Cooked dinner. Held the camera while she filmed family content. Inside, something colder than anger began assembling itself. Piece by piece, I hired a forensic accountant. Quietly. Within a week, he confirmed it. The money wasn't sponsorship income. It was laundering. Routing illegal funds through influencer marketing agencies and brand deals. My wife was the funnel. Victor Salgado was the drain. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part arrived 3 days later. A file. A private investigator I'd hired in Switzerland. Inside were photographs. A girl, 17 years old. Brown eyes, my eyes, standing outside a private boarding school in Zurich. The investigator's note was simple. Guardianship sponsor, Victor Salgado. My stomach folded in half. Our daughter. Alive. Raised under his protection. Paid for by my wife. The room felt colder. For 18 years, I had believed a stranger stole our child. But strangers don't get financial support from grieving mothers. I began reading deeper into the money trail, and the truth slowly formed. A partnership, a secret, a crime. The hospital nurse who accidentally left the nursery door unlocked. The man who walked out with the baby. The woman who told the police she never saw anything. My wife. They didn't steal our daughter. They sold her. The evidence arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. DNA results, financial records, signed adoption documents filed overseas under falsified identities. Everything connected, everything traced. I printed the files, stacked them neatly, and waited for her to come home. She entered the kitchen humming, grocery bag swinging lightly in her hands. "Hey," she smiled. "I just filmed the cutest—" I slid the folder across the table. She opened it. Page by page. Her face drained slowly. Her lips parted. Her hands began to tremble. "You looked into my accounts?" I leaned back in the chair, calm. Controlled. I found our daughter. Silence. The kind that suffocates. Her eyes filled with panic. It's not what you think. I watched her carefully, studying the cracks in the mask I had loved for 20 years. Then explain, I said quietly. She opened her mouth, closed it, and in that moment, I knew the truth mattered less than the lies she had. She tried everything. Tears, excuses, stories about desperation, debt, threats from Victor. But lies collapse when they run out of oxygen. Finally, she whispered the truth. Victor had arranged a private adoption. We were young, broke, frightened. She thought it would give the baby a better life. Then Victor disappeared with the money. Years later, he returned. Blackmail. If she didn't help move his money, he would expose her. So she built an influencer empire and washed his millions through sponsorship deals. I listened, quietly. Then I pushed my phone across the table. A news article glowed on the screen. International money laundering ring exposed. Victor Salgado had been arrested 2 hours earlier. She blinked. Confused. How? I stood slowly. I turned everything over to the authorities 6 months ago. Her breath stopped. The money. The documents. The adoption fraud. Her voice cracked. You ruined me. I looked at her carefully. No, I said. You did. Victor received 15 years. Financial crimes, kidnapping conspiracy, identity fraud. My wife lost everything. Her followers vanished overnight. Sponsors fled. The house. The company. The empire built on tears. Gone. 3 months later, I flew to Zurich. My daughter didn't know who I was. Not yet. That will take time. But truth always finds its way back. Last week, my phone rang. 71 missed calls. All from my former daughter-in-law. Apparently, she had seen the photos I posted. My villa in Switzerland. The mountains behind it. The quiet life I built from the ashes. Her message was short. Come join us for Thanksgiving. And wash the dishes. I replied with 2 words. Enjoy yourselves. Then I blocked the number. Because after 18 years of lies, silence is the only conversation I'm interested in having.